Mr. Chris has said a lot of things on the podcast, but he really meant this.
I came across, not to bury the lead, but I came across in my reviews in the last week or so, like moves that have like 9 or 10 separate moves. And they're just like scattered. Some of them look like someone took a shotgun against a map. Hello, agents, scouts, trainers, keepers, pilots, hunters, gate dwellers, and our beloved explorers and wayfinders. Welcome to episode 220 of the Wayspotters podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping you become a better wayfinder. Wayspotters is brought to you by the good people at the Pokemon Professor Network and our good friends at Pickaxe. Today is Friday, April the 3rd. I had to look at the calendar to figure out what day it was. With me, as always, is my good friend Jamal. How's it going, man? It is wild.
It's wild that we are in April already. Like Q1 is over. We're like officially headed towards GoFest season. It's wild.
Yes.
Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Speaking of GoFest, I have confirmed with my son's lacrosse team he does not have a tournament that weekend. I will be in Chicago. I am excited. Nice. I hadn't bought my ticket yet. I hadn't done anything yet because I was waiting to see because we don't find out until usually around now what tournaments the team's going to. So we are not going to that one. I am excited.
You're like,
I'm gonna start scoping out Chicago and trying to find stuff around from where we are because that new Wayfarer map, man, I'm up to like 50. I'm up to 50 things in my area, just my area, that I can nominate.
Nice.
Like crazy. I haven't done any removals in like 2 weeks. I haven't had time. I haven't had a chance. So people can hold your breath. I'm going back at it next week.
You wanted to address that. Remember, we talked about this offline on Discord.
Oh, yes.
Somebody on Reddit called you out, and you said you were going to address it.
I said was it last week episode that like I don't go searching for wayspots to remove outside of my area, and then somebody on Reddit was like, "Bro, we've talked about having stuff removed in other areas before." Like, I don't think they meant it necessarily like that. I thought it was a pretty lighthearted comment. And I was like, I want to address it this week. So, yes, I have had things removed from areas where I do not play. Hundreds, thousands of kilometers away from me. But I was right. I don't go looking for them. Those come to me. I find that in my review. Like, everything that I get removed outside of my play area is stuff that I notice on the nearby when I'm doing my reviews. Like the one we talked
our
about.
Wayspot of the week. Like our Wayspot of the week. Yep. That fell in your lap.
It fell into my lap. There was like, hey, we want this on this school ground. I want to nominate this thing, but it's on school ground. I'm like, wait a minute, it can't be. It's on school ground. Wait a minute, is that 4 other things on the grounds of that elementary school? Can't let that stand. Hey, could I ignore it? Sure. I could absolutely ignore it, but that's just not who I am. So, and I will admit, I have found other things in my reviews that were kind of like, borderline. I leave those alone because it's not up to me. But like things on K-12,
right?
See you later.
Yep.
Like I'm
with you.
It could be on the moon. I'm still getting it removed, right?
Yep. I just thought it was funny that somebody called it out, and then like 5 people upvoted it. I was like, oh, Chris is getting the Jamal treatment. I was like, okay, all right,
I haven't even gone to look at it. I'm going to go reply to it at some point and be like, listen to this week. I talk about it because it's like we talked about. It's things in other areas that's for them to manage. Right. But when I see things on school grounds, or I see things that I know are just blatantly false and made up, I can't turn a blind eye to that.
Yep.
I just can't, right? Something that's misplaced by 5 or 10 feet, I don't care that much to get that removed. I have things in my own area that I need to clean up first, but K-12 is where I draw the line, and I've said that before.
I mean, Chris, we have I'm planning a spicy show for next week, not to steal your
Ooh.
thunder, but there's a lot of people on specifically Reddit. Like, you know my history with Reddit. Reddit is
No.
like out there. And I shared some stuff with you on Discord today where people were actively asking people not to post certain things on Reddit because it gets so toxic, and take it to the forum where a Niantic employee can moderate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And people essentially told OP to go kick rocks because
Mhm.
Reddit was going to stay Reddit. And I'm working on something that I'm just trying to figure out how to frame it of what's Reddit's role in all of this. Are they making it worse? Yes. Are they making it better? No. I don't know. Anyway, that's next week. Also, while we're talking about next week, we got a voicemail from Sarah Amanda. And she was talking about some GoFest stuff and some food stuff. So we're going to roll that into a special One's Gotta Go next week about barbecue. So stay tuned to Sarah Amanda. She sent an email to, or a voicemail to lure it up, but we kind of hijacked it out of the box because when you guys send stuff into the email box, I can see it, and so can Ken, and I grabbed it before he got it. So we're going to put that on next week's show. But
That's awesome.
continue on.
That's
Nobody
awesome.
needs to know the inner workings of the Pokemon Professor Network and
Nope.
what we can and can't see and what we can and can't do. So that's all you get to know.
That's a fantastic segue to what I wanted to say next. I'm getting a new mic with some of the Patreon money that the network has been bringing in. Ken was kind enough to reach out to me and say, hey, I think a new mic would really help you guys. And I thought, I've been wanting to buy one for a while. Haven't got around to it. I'm
And
not
it's a
going to
fancy
say no.
schmancy one too.
It is a fancy one. It is way better than anything I even would have looked at. So I am excited. It should be, knock touch wood, it might be here before we record next week. So
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
And you got a new laptop. You just got a whole new setup.
Yes, I got a new laptop. The camera on this thing's way better. So
it is.
I
It's
was
really good. I
toying
like
with the idea of buying like a little camera that I could put on the top of it. The camera on this thing's fantastic. So
yeah,
I think we're just gonna roll with it. I don't have any news this week. I don't think that there was a whole lot newsworthy. I say that, and then I'm going to talk about things that are newsworthy. The Wayfarer Ambassador applications have closed. Probably take a couple weeks before we hear anything, and then they'll announce the new cohort. So, first of all, they have to pick the new people, and then they have to reach out to all the new people and be like, hey, you've been chosen. Do you really want to do this? Are you still interested? And then they have to say yes, and then they have to be onboarded, and then they have to pass like all this other stuff.
Well, remember, there's that other step where they reach out to the people who didn't get. So if I remember correctly, the way it went was they reach out to the people and says, you got it. And they give them an opportunity to say no. And if they say no, then they go to the next line of people who would have gotten it. Mm-hmm. So they lock in the people who were in 10, 12, whatever the cohort number is. And then they reach out to everybody else who didn't get it. But they don't talk to those people until they know they've got the ones locked in. So you're right. It might take a hot minute.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember ever. Maybe I just ignored it. Maybe I don't remember ever getting something that said I didn't get it. I just found out when they announced the new cohort. So I don't know.
Yep.
I applied again this time. I hadn't for a couple of years. I applied again this round just because I figured, what the hell?
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. There's a couple people in our Discord who I'm sure will be part of the new cohort.
Yes. I'm very excited about that. Friends of the show.
Yes. Friends of the show. We will cover all of that in depth and have all the juicy details that they will allow us to share once it gets announced and that sort of stuff. So look forward to that. Other than that, I got nothing for the news. So starting in Wayfarer can be intimidating, frustrating, and let's face it, kind of off-putting if not done properly. I've been inspired by my onboarding at my new job, a business self-help book that I read that was recommended to me by the vice president that I had a chat with on my first couple of days. They recommended a nice self-help book to me that I thought was really cool. So I've been listening to that on my way to work because my drive to work is about an hour and a half. So I've been listening to that audiobook. I just finished it. Really, really good. So this week, we're going to talk about building out your Wayfarer Toolbox to not only make onboarding into Wayfarer easier for new Wayfinders, but provide some tips and tricks to experienced Wayfinders as well. That is topic number 1.
This is Elf from Space, and I spot topic number 1.
All right, so topic number 1, we've got 4 things that we're going to talk about. We haven't talked about this, so I think we're going to tag team this. So I'll take the second one, you can take the second one. Or first one, you can take the second one. I think that'll break it up a little bit. So, just 4 core things that you need to think about when you're making Wayspot nominations. And this isn't eligibility. This isn't whether or not you should or shouldn't. That is like a whole other show. We're just talking about you think that you found something that is eligible. Do your research on that, please. But here's the things that you need to know. Main photos. Click around and look at some of the photos that are on Wayspots near you. So this is stuff that's already been approved, already gone through the process that you're about to embark on and gotten approved. Look at how they look in the photo disc, then click on the photo itself to see how it's framed. So you can get a really good reference of between the big photo and then in the photo disc, you can say, okay, they left this much space on each side. And like, we can tell you what that number is. I think it's like 2.5 inches or whatever.
Yeah,
but until you've actually gone in and do it and done it, like, you don't know. Like, you need that experience. So click around and take a look at how the photos look. Look at how the point of interest is framed in the larger picture in relation to the photo disc. Remember that your photo will be judged on its own merits. Looking good in the photo disc is a secondary thing, but it is important. There are people out there who will, in their reviews, be like, this is way too far away. It's going to look way too small in the photo disc. Or wait, no, that's way too close up. And they'll reject it because your photo is bad. Practice your pictures. Find a point of interest that's already a Wayspot and snap a few photos of it that you think might be really good. And then compare the photos that you've taken to the ones that already exist on the Wayspot. Who knows? You might take one that's better than the one that's already on there, and then you can add it to the Wayspot, right? So it's just get out there, practice your photos, practice the things, practice the framing, practice the angles, practice the lighting. That's my best advice for photos to you is just practice. Because the second, the time that you practice makes perfect. Because then you get used to how your phone camera operates, how the pictures, because in your eye you can say, oh, that's great with the sunset and it's going to look great, and then you take a picture with your phone camera and then it looks like hot garbage. But if you're just going to do it and then submit it, you won't know, right? So take several pictures, practice, and you'll get to a point where your main photos are chef's kiss.
And I will take the second one. And it's odd, Chris, that you left me with the second one. I thought for sure you'd take this one because this has been your baby. Your baby and Agent X's baby. And to some extent, Sarah Amanda's baby, although Sarah Amanda is kind of photos in general. But this people is supporting information. So let's talk about this for a hot second, because the supporting information can make or break your nomination. So while you can't look at the supporting information from already approved nominations, you can look at them in your reviews. So when you're doing your reviews, what I want you guys to do is to think critically, right? What does the supporting information show you, right? What does it need to show you? If you find a good supporting photo, study the angle, right? How far away is it from the POI? Where is the supporting photo? Where do they place the POI? So let me give you an example. Let's say you are, I'm in the South, so we're going to talk about a church. Let's say there's a church and it's an already existing POI, and the church has just built a new area and it's got a playground, and that playground is not on Google Maps yet. You can't see it on Street View or anything, or even from the overhead. So you take a picture of that POI, but in your supporting picture, you have the church, which is an established POI, in the background of the shot. So the reviewer can see, I know that church is there. I can find it so that I can orient myself to the playground. I'm going to sound like a broken record. But you need to do these things. And also, Chris, the thing that you have hammered into my head that I now hammer into others' head, and this is where I'm going to sound like a broken record, your supporting photo needs to know. Your supporting photo has to include the POI that you are nominating right now. Don't take a picture of the playground and then turn around and take a picture of something way over here where I can't see the POI. It's got to be in there.
Yep.
Now, the other thing that we've talked about 3 or 4 shows in the last 2 months is the GPS app, where you can take a picture and it'll imprint as an overlay. Only on the supporting photo you should do this, the GPS location, the date and the time of when you took the photo. So if you're taking something under a tree canopy, somebody can kind of dial in to where you're taking that picture. So the GPS map camera is what we use and what we recommend. We're not sponsored. Like I said, we will be if you want to sponsor us. I did reach out to them and they looked at my LinkedIn page, but nothing else other than that. So supporting photos can make or break your nomination. They're so important, and it's a chance for you to tell a story without typing any words.
100%. That there are a dozen GPS map camera apps out there. We use the one that Jamal mentioned just because I think it's the cleanest and I think it's the most professional, and it imprints the GPS coordinates on the picture in such a way that it doesn't look fake. There's some of them that just put it right in the middle of it and it looks like you kind of photoshopped it in. And it's just, I see those ones and I'm like, I don't necessarily believe that, but I happen to know what app that is, so I'm like, okay, I trust that. But just supporting photos, like you said, make or break your nomination. Supporting text. Can you guess what we're gonna say? Study other people's nominations. This the crux of what this whole episode is learn from other people. Other people are out there doing the work, doing the things, and just face it, a lot of the stuff that you're going to see in reviews is from experienced wayfinders, and you'll be able to tell when you come across a nomination that's from an experienced wayfinders. Use that information to learn from it. Use those nominations to learn from them. Did you see that? So if you're doing your reviews and you look at the supporting information, you say, and it says it's important, did you think to yourself, well, that didn't tell me much? Use that. Use that reaction to that supporting information and put yourself in the chair of the reviewer. So when you're putting together your nomination, once you're done, I want you to stop and look and go, okay, if I was reviewing this, what would I think?
Right.
Go through it step by step. Right?
Like, do I know anything more than what I knew before?
Exactly. Like, what am I going to need to search in this? Be like, oh, if it's a mural, why don't you have the artist name? Right? Am I going to spend time Googling that? Because guess what? A lot of people aren't. A lot of people are just going to go, well, if you're not going to put the effort in, I sure as hell aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Use the supporting text also to explain your supporting photo. Can you see this nomination on Street View? If not, why? Can you see it on satellite? If not, why? Like Jamal said earlier, it's a new construction. You can't see it. Put that in your supporting information. Put that in your supporting text. Say, you will not be able to see this on Street View or satellite because it's a new construction. That way, you've acknowledged the fact that you can't see it. And the reviewer will think, okay, they're not shying away from this. They're not trying to hide it. They know that I'm not going to be able to see it. And then that's where the things like the GPS app camera comes in handy. You can snap a picture with the GPS coordinates and say, hey, I've taken a photo and you can see this mountain range in the background. And that's, just generic stuff. Use this space to not only sell your nomination, but describe to reviewers what they should look like in your supporting photo. So if you say, like we'll take Jamal's example. You have a playground and a church, and you say, in the background on the back right, here's this church. This church is also a way spot. The name of that way spot is this. You can see in relation from where I've placed the pin for the playground to where the church is, that these correlate. If you draw a line, that's the angle. You can see it. and just say, hey, this is what you should be looking for in my supporting photo, so that people aren't looking at your supporting photo and being like, okay, I'm trying to see street view and I'm trying to interpret this.
Right.
You say, oh no, take your eyeballs and look at this. This
Look at
will
right here.
prove everything that you need to know.
And like I said, Chris, you know me. I don't want people nosing around my nominations. I want to give them everything they need right there. There is no reason to open up map.googles.com or anything else. I put everything there for you. It might be long. You might have to read. There might even be a hyperlink in the supporting photo that takes you to the City of Charlotte's website that talks about the trail marker that I'm doing. But I don't want you to do any independent research on your own. Follow my stuff, because I'm going to put it all right there for you.
Yeah, 100%. The more time that somebody has to spend on your nominations, the more time that they will find a reason to reject it.
Exactly.
The more that they're going to pick out things from your nomination that don't make sense. Oh, you typoed that. Oh, that photo's kind of blurry. Oh, I see the back leg of a dog in that. Just don't give them a reason. Give them everything that they need to know. A wise man once told me, especially in the corporate world, and you know this as well as I do, if you were sending an email to your boss, you need to think about every single question that they're going to have regarding that email and put all the answers in the email. So if they can get through it all and not have to go, well, I need to pick up the phone and call Chris, you're done. You're sold. And they will just take that information and they're like, wow, he did a really good job. And they go, right? They might have questions later, and that's fine. But if they think of those questions later, they've already approved your nomination.
Right. Absolutely.
Later is good. Now it's bad.
100%. All right. So the next one is title and description, and it goes really well with what you said. So when we're talking about title and description, let me make sure I have this right here. Hold on. When we're talking about title and description, get inspiration from other wayspots. The thing that I love about that, Chris, is you want, like, if you're in a park, you want everything, the nomenclature, you want everything to kind of follow along in the same vein, right? You don't want one thing to be, gazebo at such and such park, and then the other thing be just random trail marker or something. So you want to find other wayspots that are similar to yours. And if it's a piece of art, man, find the name in the description find the name of the artist and put that in the description. Instagram is going to be your best friend. Now, Chris, I want to pause here a little bit because there's been a couple of things going back and forth on the forum recently. And I think Niantic has given us guidance that I don't necessarily agree with when it comes to the description. The last I remember was Niantic was not necessarily in favor of people adding the Instagram tag in the description, but they were okay with people identifying the artist. And I wanted to know where you came down with that, because I don't know if the guidance, I don't know, where do you come down on that?
If honestly, like I said, I've sent this on the forum today. It's their map. It's their rules. We have to abide by their rules. I've never been a big fan of putting people's Instagram tags in descriptions. I'm more just put the name of the artist, right? Or maybe put the name of their artist and say AKA, and then their Instagram handle without the @ and don't necessarily reference it as an Instagram handle. People are smart, right? People go, oh, that's a really cool mural. That's a really cool artist. I'm just going to Google that artist. 999 times out of 1,000, their Instagram's going to come up. If they have one, it's going to come up in the first couple of examples on Google. I don't necessarily understand why Niantic is against us putting like the Instagram handles in the descriptions. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's that big of a deal, because like, if an artist is big enough, it's their map, it's their rules, right? Like, if an artist is big enough, their Instagram will come up on Google. Like, if not, just go to Google and search their name, it'll come up, because the artists aren't stupid. Even if they have a different Instagram handle, they've got their name somewhere in their profile. You'll be able to find them. It's not hard. It's not a big deal to me.
So you want to, like I said, find the name of the art and the artist. Use titles like mural name by mural artist. So if you don't know the name of the mural, go ahead and make one up. It's fine. Make it up. But keep it simple and don't put anything in the describing the website in the title. Save that for the description. So you want to have a short, clean title, but a more comprehensive description.
Mhm.
Right? You don't. Now, there are people like Pokemon Trainer Jay and other people out there that have this like paragraph for a title. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of something short and sweet that will show up on my screen, right? Because now we don't have to have this facade that we're talking about Ingress and all these other games. We're talking about Pokemon. I want something that'll show up on the screen that doesn't have ... because it's off the screen. Very short, very sweet. Describes what you're looking at. And then in the description, it has everything there. So for the description, it's okay to Jamal it up, but don't go overboard. Explain what the Wayspot is. A plaque dedicated to Bob McJones, a local resident who gave the ultimate sacrifice in World War II. A beautiful mural by Jane Painterface, painted in July of 2020 as part of the city beautification, right? Don't go overboard. Now, I'm usually not going to take my own advice, right? Do as I say, not as I do, right? So a lot of times I do things for content and I do things to prove a point. And Chris knows this. I'm a stubborn SOB and I'll do things out of spite sometimes. But like I said, do as I say, not as I do. So don't go overboard. Keep it succinct and don't write what's on the plaque verbatim. Niantic considers that plagiarism. We can all zoom in on the picture and see the plaque. What we want to know is, how does this feel to you and your community? How do you, quote unquote, sum it up, not just parrot what's on the plaque? So, yeah.
I think there's a fine line between Jamaling up a description and then going overboard. I think a lot of the things that you do necessarily aren't overboard. They're excessive sometimes, but I think that it's all done in good fun and it's in the spirit of the Wayspot. Going overboard is like, oh, this was just constructed over 17 and a half weeks in December 2021 by this construction company, and they put it up and this is how they did. And it's just like, you're reading two paragraphs that don't make any sense, right? And a lot of people get hung up in trying to put too much in the description, and it's off-putting to some reviewers, right? And they're not going to read it all. They're just going to be like, that's a terrible description. I have seen people put too much in their description for an otherwise flawless nomination and have it rejected for bad description. And like, there's nothing necessarily bad in the description. It's just too long, right?
Yep. And bad description is a thing.
Yep.
It's 100% a thing.
Yes. So I think the only other thing I have for this is Wayfarer Tools. And we've talked about the Wayfarer Tools on this show quite a bit. We actually have a whole tutorial episode about installing them, which apparently we've been told is a little out of date. And I know I've said several times that I'm going to do a tutorial. I am going to do it this weekend because I have a new laptop that needs to have the plugins installed, and I've been waiting for this weekend to do it because I have time.
Nice.
So look out for that. The website, what's the website?
Wayfarer.tools.
Wayfarer.tools. Yes. So head there.
It's the website that you can't type that in on the forum or they will block it.
Yeah. Yeah, they reference the tools.
I know firsthand you can't do it.
It's funny because people are just like, Google Wayfarer Tools. And then someone's like, can you send me a link? And people are like, no, I can't.
No. Nope.
Again, it's one of those weird things that people are just like, oh, Niantic must hate them. They don't. They don't care necessarily. But they can't allow us to advertise third-party tools.
Yes.
It's against the terms of service. But like, this is all stuff that doesn't access Niantic's servers. They're all overlays. It's
an overlay. It's
using information provided by the website in a manner in which it just overlays that information, and it makes your life so much easier. I'm
going to date myself real bad here. Okay. You'll remember this. Most of the people listening have no idea. So I remember being in like science or math class in elementary school, and the teacher would have the problem, and they would have that thing where they put it on the light table and then it shines on the
Mm-hmm.
wall. I
Projector,
don't
yeah.
remember what it's called. The projector. You know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. And they would write
Mm-hmm.
on it, right on the wall. They would get those overlays and put it on top of the problem, and they would show their work so it wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
mark up the original. And then they would pull it off, and so it's like that. It's like you don't want to touch the pristine database,
Yeah.
so you put this overlay on top of it, and it does all these cool things. But then you can always pull the overlay off, and it's all good. Is that a good
Yep.
example? I know.
No,
I
it's a
know,
great
like
example.
5% of people understood what I'm talking about, but I think that's a good. I think that's a good
But
analogy there.
talking about projectors, those things haven't been in classes since probably the 90s. That's a deep cut right there. That's fantastic. This is Niantic's, and people talk about third-party tools and the terms of services, like, oh, you're not allowed to use third-party tools. They don't care really
Right.
about third-party tools that don't
Third-party
access their
tools.
servers. If you look at one of the IV apps for Pokemon is an overlay now, but it
Yes.
used to access their servers, so they got sued
Yes.
and banned and shut down, and then they were just like, all right, we're just going to rip out all of the stuff and just take screenshots and just evaluate stuff from the information that you can just get from the game anyway.
Yep.
And
I remember.
that's the perfect example. Niantic went after them because they were accessing their servers, and then when they stopped acting their servers, they went, all right, cool.
Yep.
Do your thing, right? It's the same app. Literally the same
Yep.
app. So the Wayfarer tools are all overlays. I'll go through it in the tutorial, show you how to install them. There's a ton in there that are really, really good. They're great for doing reviews. They're great for your submitting your stuff. They're great for them. It makes the map 10 times better.
Yep.
It's
It sure
just-
does. It's a game changer.
If we're talking about a toolbox, we can't not talk about the tools real quick. So definitely check that out once that's all done. So let's jump into topic number 2.
I wonder what topic number 2 is going to be.
Real quick, I wanted to talk about gaining momentum. Some of the things that I was reading about. So the book that I read was Your First 90 Days, or the first 90 days, or Your First 90 Days. It's all about acclimating to a new company and getting yourself acclimated in the first 3 months. Because typically, if you start a new job, it's like 6 months to a year, sometimes 18 months before, depending on the scope of your business, before you kind of really get in and really get your feet going. And the quicker that you can get established, especially if you're leading a team like I am, the quicker that you can get in, get established, and get the team members on board and show them that you are on their side, you know what you're talking about. So the quicker that you can get in there and then convince your team, not convince is probably a bad word, but show your team that you're on their side, that you know what you're talking about, that you know their processes, and you have good information to give them, the better off that you'll be, and the quicker that you'll get everybody on board, and the quicker that they will be willing to accept the change that you are probably going to bring. So I wanted to apply some of that to Wayfarer. And because, like I said, Wayfarer can be intimidating. Wayfarer can be a little off-putting to get a hold of and to get your feet into. So I wanted to give a couple of tips, a couple of tricks to kind of get your feet under you and feel like you're getting involved in Wayfarer without necessarily doing a whole bunch of nominations, which is kind of the heart of Wayfarer. Number 1, do reviews. Get into the rhythm of doing 10, 15 reviews a day. Set a review goal of 50 a week. Go from there. The best thing that you can do is see what other people are doing. Get your feet wet. Get a feel for how Wayfarer works. Get a feel for how other people are taking their photos, how other people are taking their supporting photos, how people are setting up their descriptions and their titles and their pins and stuff, and how people are looking at the map. In fact, the best way that you can do that is to literally immerse yourself in other people's reviews. Number 2, do edits. Edits are a great way to get things into your contribution page. Get easy wins. My book talks about easy wins, early wins, things that you can go in and change real quick, right? What's better than doing edits? Find a bunch. Don't do edits just for the sake of doing edits. That's not what I'm saying. Go out there and find things that need to be edited. Is there a mural near you that doesn't have the artist name? Try and find the artist name. Google reverse search. Probably should have mentioned this earlier. Google reverse search is your best friend. If you can get that picture of that mural on your desktop, right click, search with Google, it'll come up. If it's on Instagram, it'll show you. And then you can click on it. Boom. Now you're on that artist's Instagram page. And you've got all of the information that you need. And especially if
it's also a good way to find fakes.
It is 100%. It's absolutely a good way to find fakes. And if you, I can't remember what I was going to say. If you get in there and find that Instagram, if you find the Instagram, you might also find a story about why that mural was painted, right? Was it a part of a project? Is it a memorial to someone? You can put that in the description, because that person might have just been like, hey, this is a cool mural. And they put the title as cool mural. And then the description was cool mural on the side of a building. Edit that. Go find a park. To Jamal's point earlier, do you have a park where there's 7 things in that park and all of them have different nomenclatures, right? Change them all. Change them all to be one. People will love you for it. If you have like Lake Ridge Park, Lake Ridge Park gazebo, Lake Ridge Park playground, Lake Ridge Park splash pad, Lake Ridge Park soccer field. Just find one thing, find one way of doing the title.
One theme.
One theme. Thank you. Theme.
Yep.
Apply it to everything in that park. People will love you for it, and it's ways to get easy wins.
Yes. Now, would you suggest something? Well, I suggest one thing when I see people and it says this is the first time they've posted in the forum, I would love for them to listen to what you're talking about right now. Mm-hmm. And before they try to go do a bunch of nominations, go do 50 reviews, do 25 reviews, and then go do your first nomination. But continue. I just wanted to put that in there because I thought it was topical.
I think that should be part of the onboarding, honestly. I think that before you should get whatever level, 37 in Pogo. Hey, here's Wayfarer. Do your little onboarding, which I might do a whole show. I just mock out how I think the onboarding should go, and we'll just go through it. I might actually do that, like a whole PowerPoint presentation. Anyway. And then she'd be like, all right, cool. Now you have access to Wayfarer. You are not allowed to do nominations until you've done 50 reviews. I don't care if you get 50 agreements. I don't care. I don't. Right. You could go 0 for 50. Whatever. But do 50. That way you at least get exposed to 50 different ways of doing something. And you're going to pick something up. You're going to, even if it's subconsciously, you're going to look at 50 reviews and subconsciously you're going to pick stuff up. You're going to like, oh, I remember that review, and you're going to use that when you're doing your stuff, right?
Yep.
So I think that's a fantastic idea. I'm going to include that in my show about onboarding. Last thing, spend some time on the forums. And I know forums aren't for everyone, and I get it. Maddie's going to hate me for this because there's people in our Discord who hate the forums. They hate forums, and I get it. Yes. I really, really get it. But people ask questions on the forums all the time. Read the questions. You don't even have to post, right? If you have questions, the forums is a great place to go there. But read other people's questions. Chances are somebody has asked the question that you have on the forums before. Yes. You can just go, read the answers, get your information, and leave. Never have to post. But I do recommend that you do.
So you're suggesting, Chris, that you go to the forum, you go to the little top bar on the top, you type in your question, and then you look to see if your question has been asked before. Hint, hint, it has. You look to see if your question has been asked before, and then you can look and see what the responses are before you make a post and say, where's my Pokestop?
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly, sorry, that was a little mean, but
that was a really roundabout way to get there, but that was good.
Yeah, no, but I think you're right. Like, go check it out and see, because everyone's like, "Oh, I've got a question that no one has ever asked before," and you type it in. Oh, 500, 500 hits. Okay, so yeah. Anyhow, continue. I didn't want to
I just
interrupt, but I wanted to put that in there.
no, 100%. And a really cool thing about the forums too is if you start typing your question out, Wayfarer,
Yes.
the forums will be like, hey, this topic looks a lot similar to this one. And then you can click on it. And then if you do find that somebody has asked the question that you want to ask before and they got an answer, if you need something clarified or if you don't quite understand or you want to ask more questions about the question, you can do it on that thread. And then people
Sure
will
can.
already have the background
Yep.
of what was asked before. And you're not just starting a whole new topic. And then someone's like, we talked about this 7 months ago, or we talked about this on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Monday and Saturday and twice on Sunday and 17 times on the 4th. Right? Sometimes people in the Wayfarer forum get a little annoyed when someone asks the same question for the 100th time.
Yeah,
And
they do. They do. Which is
good on
why
the
I
hand.
say I want Ellie to respond to every new person, but I got to stop saying that because she's gonna roll off soon. So
Yeah. She'll come back though. I know she will.
yes, we'll come back. Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
share your potential. If you've done your 50 reviews and you've asked your questions, you've scoured the internet and you've done all your things, and you say, I really think this is eligible, but maybe I need a little bit of help. There's a whole subject in the Wayfarer forums called nomination support. You can go and post your thing there and say, hey guys, here's what I'm thinking. Here's the photo that I want to use. Here's the point of interest. Here's my title, description, some background information, blah, 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 blah. What are some suggestions from you, the Wayfarer experts, on what I can do? You need to be prepared for us to tell you it's not eligible. So, like,
Yep.
if we say it's not eligible, sure, ask why. Like, ask clarifying questions. But a lot of people are just like, hey, I don't understand why this keeps getting rejected. And people were like, well, I hate to tell you, it's not eligible. And to certain people's credit, some people, I've actually watched people go, hot damn, oh well, and move on,
Yep.
right? And then other people are just like, no, it is. Like,
Yeah.
you've literally had it rejected 4 times. We're telling you
That
why
was
it's going to keep getting rejected. You need to learn.
You need to learn. That was kind of the theme of that Reddit post I was talking about at the top of the show, where the OP had nominated something and it got rejected, and they came to Reddit, of all places, to ask for feedback. And I don't know if you had a chance to read through it yet. They had a
No, I
chance to
haven't.
ask for feedback, and like a cacophony of people, there's my big word, a cacophony of people told them, yeah, you have to look that one up, why it wasn't eligible and why they were an a-hole, and basically why their whole family lineage sucked, as Reddit has been seen to do. So they either resubmitted, no, they appealed it, and Niantic approved it. So the post that I sent you, this person was coming back to Reddit to take their victory lap and to kind of rub everybody's nose in it who said it would never go through. And it
Love
just
that.
got, you can imagine how that went over. Right. You
Yeah.
can just close your eyes and imagine how that went over, with OP saying, you said this and you said this, and so, Wayspot 872, you said this and you said this, and Niantic. And then, people are like, just because Niantic approved that doesn't mean that all of these are now, and it
Yeah.
just went on from there. So yeah, if it's still relevant next week, we'll talk about it, but you can imagine how that went over.
I think that's fantastic.
Yep.
As much as people hate forums, I think for some people, a lot of that hate comes from Reddit.
Mhm.
Like, Reddit has a reputation for being a great place if you can find a group of people who agree with you.
Yes.
If you run into people who don't agree with you, Reddit can be extremely toxic.
Correct.
And the internet's the internet. You're never going to find a space where everybody agrees with you. It's just the simple. So I try and avoid Reddit as much as possible, because
We got something removed from Reddit last week, remember?
Yes.
I posted a short of you talking about OPR and
Yeah.
kind of the history of why OPR and what happened and how all those people in China did this. And somebody reported it to the moderators and they removed it because we didn't say anything about Wayfarer. We only said something about OPR. And I'm like, really? Can you not find the through line there? Fine, whatever. I didn't even appeal it. I just let them remove it. So
Yeah.
Reddit will be Reddit.
And that's the thing, right? Like it's if you're even a monicum of a fraction of an inch off topic, people are just like, that doesn't belong here.
Mhm.
Like, just let me get there. Like, it's Wayfarer adjacent. OPR,
Yes, exactly.
OPR is the grandfather of Wayfarer.
Yes.
And OPR 2 is like the child of Wayfarer. They're related.
Yes.
Like, literally related. They are
correct.
Joined for life. You can't see how, first of all, I'm gonna go off on a bit of a tangent here, so I apologize to our listeners, but you can't see the link between what happened with Recon in China and the abuse that got the whole program shut down. If you don't think that sort of thing can happen to Wayfarer, and that's not some cautionary tale that Niantic and Scopely need to, at the very least, be cognizant of and pay attention to, and say,
correct,
we are aware of what happened there. Like, I think Pokemon Go is too popular, and I think that Pokemon Go is too populated with people who at least semi-care about the map, and I think that Wayfarer has enough people who care about the map that sort of level of abuse couldn't happen in Wayfarer and with Pogo. But if you don't think that there are groups out there right now using some of those techniques to populate their area, you're absolutely kidding yourself. You're absolutely fooling yourself. Right?
We may or may not know of something right now, right?
And you know what's funny about that is Niantic knows about it too, right?
Yeah, they do.
But and this is what people talk about. Niantic doesn't care about the spoofers. They absolutely do. And they ban them all the time. They ban people from Wayfarer for cheating all the time. But the sheer amount of it is insurmountable, and they don't have the people to handle everything because it's pointless. Like, these people just sprout back up. It's like the mob and the mafia. You don't think the FBI and the police are aware of the mob and the mafia? Like, they are.
Yeah,
they know exactly.
But at
who all
some
those people
point,
are.
they can't arrest everybody. They got to say, you know what? They're not. There's like, okay, it's kind of like when you're kids, like when your kids are a little bit younger than mine, but they're in the other room and they're doing something they shouldn't be doing, but they're not breaking anything. You know, it's like, okay, just let them. They're occupying themselves. They're banging pots and pans together, but they're stainless steel. They're not going to dent. They'll fall asleep in 30 minutes, and it's like, by the letter of the law, they shouldn't be doing this, but they're not really hurting anything. So I'm just going to let them occupy themselves. Now, if they cross the line and open up the china cabinet, okay, then I'm going to grab the pot and pan from you, and you're no longer able to do that. And I think Niantic understands when they need to bring out the big ban hammer and slap somebody, but otherwise they'll spend all their day working on this low-hanging fruit that's really not hurting anybody.
One of Jamal's favorite sayings. What is it?
Pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered.
Exactly. And people get greedy and they get caught.
Yep.
Right? And
people like to flex. That's where they get caught.
Like to flex. And that's when they get caught. And for the most part, people are out there to police the map, and they do police the map, and they clean the map up as best we can. And it's not that bad. Right?
Right.
In the grand scheme of things, the abuse that happens, it happens. They address it when they can. It gets caught when they can. But the level of abuse that happened in China and happened to OPR was catastrophic.
Right.
And for the Reddit Wayfarer moderators to remove it because we didn't mention the word Wayfarer, we were just talking about OPR. Like, you can't. That's why I don't like Reddit. Like, it's just, no, see you later. Although I will say this, if you were to post that on the Wayfarer forum, I'm pretty sure you would probably get the same reaction. People are like, that's OPR, not Wayfarer. Cool, but like, 1 and 1 plus, or 1 plus 1 is 2.
I know. Yep.
So, all right, let's take a break, play some dad jokes, and then we will come back on the other side with Wayspot of the week and call of the week.
This is Woodwose, Sylph Scientist. You're listening to the Wayspotters podcast.
This is A is for Andis, Florida's most hated wayfarer. You're listening to the Wayspotters podcast.
This is Genji, and we are listening to the Wayspotters podcast show.
Season 5 of Dad Jokes. You guys keep encouraging him. This is why we can't have nice things.
I tried to make a dad joke about elevators, but it just didn't lift the mood. I told my calendar a joke. Now, all my days are booked. I went to a restaurant that said home style cooking. I waited 45 minutes and they forgot my order. Yep, home style cooking for sure. I opened a gym for really, really lazy people. It's called Tomorrow. I tried to catch some stationary fog again. Still missed. I told my friend I was really trying to cut back on caffeine. He said, that sounds rough. I said, bro, I'm not even really awake for this conversation. I told my chair a joke, and it folded. Can you believe that? Chair has no sense of humor.
And we're back. Hope you enjoyed the dad jokes this week. Every single one of our wake spots this week are from the Pokemon Professor Network Discord. If you would like to have a chance to have your wake spots featured, you can join our Discord yourself. More on that at the end of the show.
This is Sarah Amanda, and here's some Wayspotters approved points of interest.
Wake spot of the week number 1. Let me pull it up. Comes to us from one of the aforementioned friends of the show who were really hoping gets a Wayfarer ambassador spot, Darker Solstice. This is Rail Lines lighting art.
This is fantastic.
This is fantastic. This is so good. A decorative sign at Cow, a Korean barbecue restaurant. Each color of lights represents one of the Chicagoland train lines, with Des Plaines on the Northwest line in gold. So this is basically a subway map in a Korean restaurant, but it's got neon lights that represent all the lines. And it is so cool. And if this is in Chicago, I think we got to go check this out.
We got to check it out. We got to check it out. Can I tell you one thing, Chris, about this? Mm-hmm. And I found this out the hard way. The name of the town is Des Plaines. And they're very particular about it. Des Plaines.
All right.
I found that out like 20 years ago when I was in Des Plaines for a wedding, and I will never mispronounce it again. Carry on, sir.
That's good information to know. Good information to know. But this is one of those things that it's very simple, but it's just it's elevated to a next level by the lights on. And I just think this is really, really cool. And if you're from out of town and you're sitting in this restaurant, you'd be like, man, I really need to know how we get here. Oh, boom, it's right there. It's in your face. It's bright. It's colorful. And it's right there. And I think this is fantastic.
Yep. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And I've been told by more than one person that Chicago has the best transit system in the country. I've been told that by people who I believe would know that to be true. So I'm really looking forward to this. I haven't had good Korean barbecue in a hot minute, so this would knock off 2 things for the price of 1. So
I think we gave New York Transit System a workout the 2 years that we were there for GoFest, and the 3 years that you were there for GoFest, we gave that transit system a workout. So
absolutely,
we have experience. So Chicago, we're coming for you.
We're coming. All right. So let's go to Wayspot of the Week, number 2.
Here is a beautiful example of a Wayspot of the Week, which may or may not be a 2-story mural.
Okay, so Waste Spot of the Week number 2 is in fact a 2-story mural. This is actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-story mural, which is fantastic. And it comes to us from Grandpa TP in our Discord. And Chris, I think Grandpa loves murals as much as we do, because every time we feature one of his murals, it's a 2, 3, 4, 5-story mural. This one is awesome. All right. So the title of it is We Shall Overcome, a mural on the side of an apartment building by Case McLean. So think of that song, We Shall Overcome. And what it is, the way I'm looking at it is it's like interlocking hands that go up the building. And it's like two people kind of joining together their hands. And it's a black background, and then you see kind of the forearms and a little bit of the sleeve of each person, and they're kind of locking hands together, kind of interlacing fingers. And it just says unity to me. And it just kind of gives off something that you see it, you kind of nod your head and go, I see you working. I understand what you're going for there. You're trying to bring people together. You're saying a whole lot by not saying a whole lot, but you're saying a whole lot.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's huge for one, and anytime that we can have a multi-story mural on this show, that is not only beautiful but also has a very powerful message, we are all over it.
All over it.
So yeah, I think this is fantastic, and it's got the artist's name in the description.
It sure does. It sure does.
The title.
Yep.
It's almost like we
can't beat it. Almost like we plan these things.
All right, let's go to something that is not that great. Coal of the week. I've been working on the Wayfarer all the live long day. I've been working on the Wayfarer just to pass the... Uh-oh. Oh no. Hey Jamal, I found some coal. This coal of the week comes to us from, as I tab to the Yamk in the Pokemon Professor Network Discord. This is Jackson Center Historical Society. The description is, been in Jackson Center for over 30 plus years, stained glass windows, easy to walk by and ride bikes by for family gathering to tell history. Bad description, not a bad title. It's the main photo is what looks like an older building with some stairs going up to it, a big white door. There's the bottom floor is brick, the top floor has siding, some clouds in the background, and at the bottom of it, it says 402 State Road 65 from the Google Maps, and the top says Google. Oh, wait, hold on. It's a screenshot from Google Maps.
I was gonna say, Chris, for our audio listeners, you were describing a perfectly good way spot. No. I'm like, where's the problem, Chris?
Yeah,
and there it is.
There it is. It is like it's not even like sometimes people take screenshots from Google Maps and then they'll crop out the top and the bottom so that you can't really tell that it's from Google Maps, but you can tell that it's from Google Maps. They didn't even
not in this case.
They just went. They probably did this from their phone, and they went click, screenshot, upload.
Yep.
Like,
I wish we could see the supporting photo. I'm assuming the supporting photo is probably the same. This is probably bad.
You know what drives me nuts sometimes, though? Sometimes I will see this. They'll take the screenshot from Street View, and then the supporting photo will be of the object. Like, they took the photo and then realized that none of the photos that they took were good enough to be the main photo, and they just used, like, come on. Just use one of your crappy supporting photos. You'll be fine.
Something.
Oh,
so bad. So bad. Terrible.
Horrible. That's Charles Barkley level terrible.
Yes, it is.
We don't get that very often on this show. You got anything else?
I got nothing else, my friend.
All right, let me sign us off. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Wayspotters. We really appreciate it. A big thank you goes out to our executive producer, Kate the Cons, and our show historian, Maddie G, and to all of our Patreons. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you so, so much. We would also like to thank our gym leaders, Maddie G, SB and Willow, KJ Demand, Herbert, Brandy, Fisher JZE, and James, and 2 of the other executive producers on the network for Good Morning Johto, Monkey Bread, and for Lured Up, Xander. Also, our Elite 4 level supporter, Ozark Renee. I believe we're going to see them in Chicago as well, so we're looking forward to that. And our Giovanni level supporter, Boris, is If you enjoyed this episode of Wayspotters, there are a few ways that you can show us. We are on all of our socials. We are on Twitter at Wayspotters. We are also on Instagram at Wayspotters Podcast and on TikTok at I Make Wayspots. We are incredibly responsive and love interacting with our followers. Let us know what you thought about today's episode. You can also visit our website, www.wayspotters.com. From there, you can get links to everywhere you can download the show. You can also send us a message directly from the website or email us, wayspotters@pokemonprofessor.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. For those of you who still need to be sure to check us out, youtube.com/@wayspotters-podcast. Leave us a voicemail on our hotline, 704-426-3710, or tweet us a voice message. You never know, your voicemail may appear on an upcoming episode of the show, like we talked about earlier. Finally, if you are not a member of the Pokemon Professor Network Patreon, you can join us for as little as $1 US a month. All you need to do is go to patreon.com/PokemonProfessor. You will have access to the Discord for the entire family of shows across the Pokemon Professor Network, including Wayspotters, Special Conditions, Gotta Watch 'Em All, Purified Podcast, Good Morning Johto, Sleep It Off, After Dark, and Lured Up. It is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people. Jamal and I are active in the Discord quite a bit. To come and hang out, we would love to have you. And with that, we look forward to you joining us again next week here on Wayspotters. We appreciate all the support we get each week. We couldn't do this without all of you. And remember, it's not that far. Get out of your car.